Hi everybody and welcome to Josiah is Right. So like most children of the 1980s, I am a product of John Hughes. John Hughes is best known for The Breakfast Club and, of course, 16 Candles. He's also largely responsible for Molly Ringwald. I'll leave that up to you whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing. However, just acknowledging the 1980s angsty comedies is a total disservice to Mr. Hughes. I need only cite the glorious, amazing, wonderful Uncle Buck as an example of his greatness. And I could go on and on and on here. On and on and on and on. Although, you could also blame him for Macaulay Culkin. But this is Macaulay Culkin at his best. He's also the man behind the Vacation series, having written the most underrated trilogy, although a bit imbalanced, of the 1980s. Specifically, Vacation, with Conan the Barbarian Frank Frazetta-style art, European Vacation, maintaining that crazy art style, and of course, Christmas Vacation, which is a much more normal sort of movie poster style. Researching a story of my own, I came across the John Hughes story Vacation 58. Now, this went on to become Vacation. Now, there are parts of this story that are just like what you see in the film, really exactly, and there are parts that are pretty different, or at least different enough.
Hello, officer. What's the problem? Get out of the car. Explain this, you son of a bitch. Oh, my God.
Dad pulled over and reached for his wallet. The cop came to the window. "What's the problem, officer?" Dad asked, offering his driver's license. "You'd better step out of the car for a moment, sir." Dad got out of the car and walked around behind it. His mouth dropped open and his eyes showed wide. I jumped into the back and looked out the rear window. It was the most sickening thing I'd ever seen in my life. Aunt Edith's dog was laying on the ground behind the car. He was flat on his belly with his legs out to the sides and his neck stretched out, so they looked like a beagle version of a bear rug. There was a wide red trail leading up to his body. It was cool to read the short story and realize this is the same person who wrote the screenplay for all of these things, who wrote the short stories that they then became. That's really phenomenally awesome. You can find a link below to Vacation 58. I found it originally on The Hollywood Reporter. The single most interesting difference from the movie and the short story, there is no Wally World. There is Disneyland.
First one's here.
Not only is there Disneyland, but Walt Disney himself is actually a character in the story. And he gets shot in the freaking leg.
Many years ago.
Walt waited a moment, then dashed down the long stretch of grass. Dad dropped to one knee, followed Mr. Disney, and fired. Mr. Disney tumbled on the ground, clutching his upper thigh. His momentum carried him into the flower beds. Two Beverly Hills policemen leaped on Dad and wrestled the weapon from his hand. The police let us say goodbye to Dad. I felt really sorry for him, especially when he kissed me and said that he'd hoped I'd had at least a few minutes of fun on our vacation. I assured him I did. I also told him that I hoped he would beat the rap and be home real soon, and that I didn't begrudge him for shooting such a neat guy as Mr. Disney. I haven't done a great deal of research on this, but it's my understanding that Walt Disney didn't hate the idea that Walt Disney got shot. That wasn't his problem with the story, and why he and Disney wouldn't be officially endorsing this, and why you wouldn't see them in the film version. Walt Disney is just barely in the story, and is portrayed as the kindly man we know from the 1950s television shows.
Now, a great deal of time, sweat, and a few tears were expended on all this.
However, Walt Disney did not like the reason he was shot. The Griswolds pull into the massive empty parking lot that is now California Adventure, only to find that the park is closed for cleaning and repairs. Which makes this a totally 100% reasonable reaction when you think about it, instead of shooting Walt Disney. Punch a fake moose. As a former cast member, worked at Disneyland. It's been back there as long as I've been making these videos, so for the last few months, if you've paid close attention, you've seen this. But as a former cast member, I can tell you the park does not shut down for pretty much anything. My mom was there one day in 1970 when it shut down because the Vietnam War protests took over Tom Sawyer's Island, but that is a story for another day. I was there once during an earthquake and the park did not shut down. They normally cycle through maintenance schedules so that they can have enough open that everybody's happy, or at least most of the people are happy. But again, people are going to complain and want a refund when, Splash Mountain is down. That's the one thing we're on the ride, even though it's raining in October. That's what happens. However, as I said, I was there during an earthquake. I saw people fleeing the park, literally. I was standing on Main Street. I watched the lights up there sway, the bricks move beneath my feet. It was surreal and kind of awesome in a way. It was my favorite experience from working there. It felt like it was different, I guess. I don't know what it felt like because it was a little bit scary, but also awesome. Anyway, people then lined up way towards the exit by City Hall to complain, asking for refunds. Disney can't refund for an act of God, unfortunately. So those people didn't get any satisfaction. I mean, I guess I understand if you're coming back from, like Montana or something to Disneyland and that's your whole thing is built on that one moment. But here the point is Disney doesn't shut down. That's what Walt had a problem with. He didn't like to say that the park was shut down. That was it. That was his big gripe. Disneyland would not be shut down. Which brings us back to the Griswolds. They arrived to find the park closed. Disney's main issue was that the park was closed. The park doesn't close. It's open every day, year-round. So remember, you can shoot Walt in the leg, but you better get back to work. So thank you for watching. Remember, Josiah is right, and I post a new video every Sunday and Thursday. You can find me on other social media, where I'm also Josiah is right. How convenient for you guys who seek out my sage advice on short stories from the 80s. Well, the movie was from the 80s. The short story was from before that in the 70s. But you can find stuff there too. So I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching. And one last little tag to this story. After I recorded all this, including all the other narrations and everything, Hurricane Irma has shut down Disney World, that is, not Disneyland here in California, but Disney World in Florida for the next 2 days. So it shut down last night. I'm recording this on Sunday. It shut down Saturday night and is now closed Sunday and Monday at least. So we hope all goes well, and apparently acts of God do close the park. Thank you guys again for watching.